What a momentous time for Sudan. We have an ongoing cycle of violence in the aftermath of the split between North and South Sudan. We have the invasion of Abyei and the attacks on people in the Nuba Mountains, and now, most recently, in Blue Nile, a further assault by the government of Sudan's forces against the people there in Blue Nile. On the one hand, this could look like, wow, this is a disaster and spreading insurgency and conflict all over the Sudan. But on the other hand, it's a real opportunity because people are coming together all throughout Sudan, all throughout the peripheries of Sudan, the regions that have been dispossessed, and they're saying time to change the situation in Sudan once and for all. Why is this such a momentous opportunity for us as activists and people who want to help support the people of Sudan to finally have peace and democracy?
I think it is important to note that a lot of focus was in Sudan from the time of the referendum in the south, and also through that period building up the momentum to the separation of the two countries in July. Shortly before that, the violence in Darfur continued. The violence in the border, in the Abyei area, we started around May, and that continued now with the Blue Nile, and also the violence going back to Darfur again. Together with the Arab Spring, if you will, and the changes that are taking place in North Africa, this is an amazing time in the history of the country, where a lot of people are now inside the country and outside the country are looking for change.
Sudanese people.
Sudanese people. Mm-hmm. So the Sudanese are now ready than ever, I think, for a change. And this is a very good opportunity, because this government that continued in power for 22 years, power that was depending on the assault of the government on its own people. It was in the former South Sudan that became now the government, the Republic of South Sudan, and also in the Nuba Mountains in Darfur, revisiting that violence in the Nuba Mountains again, and now moving to the Blue Nile. The people of Sudan are fed up of this, and everybody is now talking about change. How that change is going to take place in Sudan, this is going to be the subject of discussion, and discussions like this elsewhere, in Sudan, outside of Sudan, between among Sudanese and among the friends of Sudan and the people who are interested in the country as such. So this is an opportunity that powers from the rebel groups that are in Darfur and in the Nuba Mountains, and now with the attack on Governor Malik and the SPLA, SPLM North, that is there in the Blue Nile. It is there is a good chance that these powers can come together inside the cities and among movements like Grivna and the Sudanese for Change and even the old political parties. They are now talking seriously about, listen, whatever is left of North Sudan now needs to be changed. It is enough of this National Congress Party. It is enough of these policies of violence and buying allegiance and alliance and loyalty and squandering the coffers of the country. The economic situation is now putting Sudan under a huge stress. So there is a chance for all these powers to get together and to get the change that is needed in Sudan today more than ever.
So while all this is happening inside Sudan, Sudan, of course, is situated in this region. Neighbors, Egypt, which just overthrew a dictator that no one ever thought would leave.
30 years.
Hosni Mubarak, and then it neighbors Libya to the northwest, where everybody has followed the story of Gaddafi's overthrow by a coalition of rebel groups throughout the country, and other countries throughout the Arab world, Syria and Yemen and Tunisia, and all these countries that have for years chafed under these dictatorships have suddenly thrown open the doors. People are surging and demanding their rights and freedom, and it's no different in Sudan.
Absolutely, and Sudan should be more eligible than all these countries. Why? Because we tried this before and it worked. In October of 1964, Sudan went through this intifada against the first dictatorship in the country, led by General Aboud at the time. And then General Numeri took over in 1969, and after 17 years in 1985, the Sudanese in April went back, flooded the streets, demanded to return back to democratic rule. So a country that has this legacy, a country with that rich history of civil disobedience and of yearning to democracy and of trying to change things in a peaceful manner, that is. A country with that legacy and with that history should be in the forefront of the countries that are demanding change today in the area.
And we can't take this moment or miss this moment of opportunity, this window of opportunity. We can't just pursue the same old policies of having a ceasefire here with one little region and then another peace process over here with some small rebel group that doesn't even represent that region. What we've done is stovepipe all of these responses to the multiple emergencies in Sudan, rather than have one comprehensive policy for changing the situation for good, so that we can see a democratic transformation in Sudan and we can see finally peace come to that country. So let's go for that democratic transformation. Let's push for one peace process that deals with all the different regions and one democratic process that allows for free and fair elections. If we don't get it, if the Sudanese government is opposed to it, as we saw the Libyan government oppose it, as we're watching Syria oppose it, then we should support very directly and dramatically the forces for change within Sudan and push for a transformation that may not be a pretty one, but it ultimately will lay the foundation for a peaceful future for Sudan.
A lot of people say, be careful what you praying for. You might get it and you might not like it. However, the people who say this, let them go and talk to the people of Darfur. Let them go and talk to the people of the East. Let them go and talk to the people in the Nuba Mountains today, and the people of Blue Nile, and even the people of the far north, the Nubians of the north. And a lot of intellectuals and a lot of leaders of civil society and political parties inside Khartoum. People will tell you today in Sudan, we want change. And that change, well, we all want it to be democratic change. We all want it to be a better life than this. We all want that change to change this situation of violence and of no political initiatives that will lead us to democratization and openness. So the forces that are there working for this change in Sudan are different. However, they have one goal.
Mm-hmm.
Those people who are fighting against the government of Sudan, and those people who are in the cities, and those students in the different institutions, and the diaspora of Sudanese, millions of them, that are not just in the West. They are in the Middle East. They are in the Far East. They are in different African countries. It is not just some of us, the Sudanese in the West, that are demanding this. No, the Sudanese inside Sudan and the Sudanese in other parts of the world are demanding this. All these forces coming together need to be supported, need the help to articulate this, and need the help to come up with a way to show the world that change is possible and change is doable in Sudan, and to be supported so that they can achieve this dream. It's not too much. After 22 years of these failed policies, after 22 years of isolation, after 22 years of violence and dictatorship, I think the people of Sudan deserve better than this government that is there.
And we can play a role in that.
Absolutely.
By helping to support those forces for change. And that's where the Obama administration's policy needs to be. Just like we did in Egypt, just like we did in Syria, just like we did in Libya, our policy shifted away from supporting dictatorships for whatever our geopolitical purposes were, towards supporting popular change. That's the fundamental shift that has to occur now in the Obama administration's policy towards Sudan.
It's a choice that the American policymaker made in terms of shifting from the policy of supporting governments to the policy of supporting people. And we can see it clear in the speeches that President Obama had given. And this is a sustainable policy where your investment is in the people of these countries. It is not in the governments, because governments can change. The people are there. And this is more sustainable, and this is more desirable for a good policy. And also, it will yield the results that these people in these countries are asking for.
Thanks, Omer.
Thank you very much.